Good evening. They've been causing disruption across the capital since they started protesting about climate change. But tonight, ITV News can reveal the significant change in how the police and justice system is dealing with Just Stop Oil protesters ever since officers were given greater powers to make quicker arrests. In the last 3 weeks, more demonstrators have been charged for causing disruption across the capital than the whole of last year. And while protesters were out in force in Trafalgar Square this morning, the change in tone from the Met Police was evident, as Kath Opata has been finding out.
It's 7:30 a.m. and traffic in central London is about to be brought to a standstill by these Just Stop Oil activists.
Do you think today you're going to get arrested?
Yes, I think it's almost certain.
How do you feel about that? Are you nervous? Are you scared?
I've made peace with it. I know that a lot of my fellow friends have gone through far worse.
They joined the rest of the group for a pre-march briefing, making sure everyone is all right, and soon enough, out come those orange banners and high-vis vests. Out on the road they go, and then an involuntary halt for motorists.
I think they're a bunch of mate, to be totally truthful, and I wish I could just mow them down and backpack over them.
They're trying to stop climate change.
It doesn't take long for the police to arrive. But for the activists, neither the law or negative public opinion is enough to deter them from their mission.
How does it feel knowing the general public aren't really supportive of your actions?
This isn't the X factor. You don't need to be popular to make change. We're doing what we know is effective because we've seen it throughout history.
The first wave of officers tried to stop the march, but they're quickly outmaneuvered.
So the police briefly managed to get the activists off the streets and onto the pavements, but they've managed to make their way around them. You can see them slow marching once again on the road. You've got a bus right there. Traffic is heavily building up. It seems that they're achieving what they set out to do today.
We're advising you to just remove yourself from the road.
Repeated warnings were made to depart the road, but they fall on deaf ears. And to resolve the gridlock, no other choice but to make arrests.
Okay, at this minute, mate, you are under arrest on the Section 7 of the Public Order Act 2023.
I'm feeling pretty concerned about the state of the world, to be honest. This is irrelevant compared to what we will face in the future.
Why not live to fight another day? Why not become an MP, impact change from the inside?
Because by the time that I would even graduate from university, we may well have crossed irreversible climate tipping points.
These activists are part of hundreds arrested in the last few weeks, a number that seems to be exceeding the figure of those arrested in the whole of last year. In all of 2022, 236 activists were charged under the Public Order Act, but in just 3 weeks of this year, that number was higher at 296.
We've seen an increase in the criminalisation of peaceful protests, but what we've not seen is an increase in the proper infrastructure that would then be able to deal with those arrests.
Back in Westminster, the last of the activists are being rounded off. The police successful in their battle, but Just Stop Oil still determined to win the war on climate change.
Well, Kath, that was Trafalgar Square early this morning, wasn't it? But, you know, the longer these protests go on, how effective do you think they'll actually be?
Well, all indications seem to show that they aren't really working. Already we've seen the government's roll back on a number of climate policies, the lifting of the fracking ban. Cars with combustion engines were due to be banned in 2030. That's been pushed back to 2035. And as these marches go on, it seems public opinion is waning. 64% of adults seem to have an unfavourable opinion of Just Stop Oil. When asked whether they sympathise with activists or motorists, the majority sided with the motorist. And as for the newly amended Public Order Act, 66% said they were in favour of new police powers. One thing I did notice in today's march was Just Stop Oil activists don't seem to care about public opinion. They only have their focus on one thing, that's ending the use of fossil fuels. And even with these arrests, they will be marching tomorrow again, and they say it's going to be an even bigger march than what we saw today in Trafalgar Square.
All right, Kath, thank you.